Hey guys, you remember last video where I said that's all there is to it and we're going to see you next time and all that, and that would basically meant that the series is over? Yeah, I lied. I'm back, and I'm just here to make another quick video saying that I love this goddamn game in the form of a short video where I praise it. Well, attemptedly briefly. It might be a little bit longer. Obviously, minor spoilers are ahead, by the way. I'm going to do my best not to throw out too many because I want people to play this game. Okay, so you know how Undertale has a user base of emotionally unstable man-children that get triggered the second you say something remotely not complimentary about it? Yeah, I'm one of those man-children, but for this game now. Last video I said that this game is good simply because it's not your average trite high school fantasy fulfillment story, and it's better than GVH by default because of that simple fact. I want to make another video discussing the Snoot further because that simple statement alone does not do this game enough justice on how well written and nuanced it is when you completely ignore its background history and look at this game as a standalone title. Okay, so we have already established the fact that this was originally supposed to be a tongue-in-cheek parody, but it actually ended up being a three-dimensional drama about a poor loser kid who seemingly has no future and a goth punk pteranodon girl with family issues that lead her into an identity crisis. It's slightly tonally whiplashy at the start of the game, but as the story's themes pick up and hit so damned hard, and also the jokes fade away eventually, you're just in for a ride after that. So yeah, that's all been established. Let's keep praising this thing for a little bit longer. The Snoot is good. The Snoot is very good. After finishing the Snoot, I don't even want to think about that other piece of crap that I spent 3 goddamn videos discussing. The Snoot has emotionally affected me in ways that I didn't even know could happen to a person. Honest to Raptor Jesus, I am legit offended with myself over the fact that I did not pay money for this experience. Boys, I think something is wrong with me because I've never played a visual novel before, and I've only ever played like narrative type games like Night in the Woods and Heavy Rain and stuff, and those games only ever kind of just bored me to death for some reason. I don't know why, but they just did. But with visual novels, this thing had my full attention. I wasn't bored at all. And after doing a single playthrough and only scoring 1 ending out of 4, I've decided that I am not going to continue playing this game because I realize that I am not emotionally stable enough to be playing games like this. I am not emotionally stable enough to be playing visual novels. You know how Dark Souls and Elden Ring are games that like gatekeep the true hardcore gamers from the casuals and all that shit? I guess that's my relationship with this game, because this game story was like legit affecting me outside of playing it normally. I literally could not video edit for like 2 days straight because my heart was pounding and I was anxious as all hell for 2 days straight. I guess being left emotionally reeling is normal for visual novels or something like that. Again, I would not know. My main squeeze for gaming stuff is like Sekiro and Sifu and various indie titles. But yeah, the Snoot. This game has many complexities in each individual character, and the reason why is because the narrative focuses on the primary reason why all high schoolers are a-holes by default. They're freaking selfish. And when everyone is trying to figure themselves out and everyone is emotionally unstable, it's only natural for most people like that to think that the world revolves around them and only them simply because of that alone. As a result, there is an entire web of character dynamics that you could draw out a canvas on once you learn everyone's personalities, desires, and objectives. It is very, very easy to get emotionally attached to these characters as a result, as in all of them. Even the characters who are supposed to be considered the bad guys, quote unquote, ultimately aren't even people you can completely despise, since at the end of the day, they only had good intentions behind their awful and or cringy actions. And when I say everyone, I mean even the main character. Anon himself is supposed to be considered a blank slate that you, the player, can paint themselves onto, of course. But much like Courier 6 from Fallout New Vegas, his experience and background from before the game begins molds him into his own person after a while. He performs believable teenager actions as well, such as the constant monologuing about how much he automatically assumes everyone's a dick, and then there's also that one fantastic time where he undresses Fang with his eyes like a goddamn hormone-enraged dumbass, and the list goes on. Maybe that bothers others because of the fact that he's supposed to be a blank slate on purpose, but it sure as hell does not bother my ass, because it's genuinely endearing to see Anon grow as a person as the game progresses, starting off as a selfish, emotionally scarred high school loser who only gives a flying crap about himself, slowly developing the compassion and understanding to help people in their times of need, and also slowly becomes something of a man with a backbone, courtesy of the assistance of his very sudden goth punk tarot girlfriend, and also attemptedly standing up to her absolutely effing terrifying father. Oh, and yeah, relationships happen. they do happen. And you would figure a human in a Pteranodon scaly struggling to maintain a healthy relationship would be unrealistic, but actually no, because just like how character dynamics are always pushing and pulling, shit actually gets, well, even more real after romance happens. You want to know something funny? The only actual unrealistic thing about this game is the idea of a goddamn 4chan user getting a girlfriend. But never mind that. It's also super duper endearing to see Fang become a better person too, starting off being a completely selfish loser asshole, and then eventually growing to become a slightly less asshole-ish girl. Look, I'm trying to say, this freaking game is full of so many genuinely profound moments that I still can't mentally process how it's even possible to have that in this game, despite tearing through only a single playthrough of this, man. The most prominent and remarkable moment of the entire game is easily the school rooftop scene, where Anon simply just stands by and watches Fang take a hard look into her own insecurities. Again, I really want to go into this, but I cannot because I don't want to spoil it. I want you to play this goddamn game. I know I said this like a million times last video, but I'm going to do it again. Play this freaking game. You could literally just Google it and then how do I play this game, and you download it and then you play the game. Please do it. The game's great, okay? The game's great. God. Ugh. Yeah, this game has 4 different endings, ranging from best possible outcome to worst possible. The good ones are great, and the bad ones are really fucking depressing. And another little tidbit that I want to add in is that even the bad endings of Snoot game are actually interesting to ingest, in the sense that while they are kind of soul-crushing the witness, not kind of, they're really soul-crushing the witness, but they also serve as cautionary tales about the importance of mental health, identity, and empathy. No punches are pulled in how gut-wrenchingly depressing they are. And ignoring that shocking extremity, no matter what opinion you have of any of the 4, if you look at them from an emotionally neutral, unbiased point of view, they all are completely believable takes on the aftermath and after effects of a grounded Hive School experience. It's really well written because of that. And a damn near perfect microcosm, I don't know, of the negative and positive side effects of teenage anxiety and how they affect you in your adult life, is what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, that is just why Snoot game is just a really goddamn good game. It's really good at showing you the results of your own personal high school experience, like as an adult, you know what I mean? So yeah, Snoot game rocks. It's really well written, and I can't believe that it is, and I can't believe that it's affected me in the ways that it did, but yeah, it did. Play the goddamn game. Just play it, please. Just play it. God, please just play it. And that leads me to something important I need to say, as this game is not just, well, it's officially not just a video game for me, but it's been a whole ass experience that has legit hemorrhaged my ass mentally because, well, a lot of the stuff that happens in this game is somewhat parallel to my life. Okay, so, this is officially the end of this video. This is gonna start getting personal, and I I feel completely embarrassed for suddenly dumping my own personal life into this video, so if you don't care at all, which, by the way, you're totally welcome to, you don't have to, feel free to just stop watching, because this is just the end of the video, and I just wanted to recommend and try to get you guys to play the goddamn Snoot game again. I don't keep discussing the game after this, I just talk about me and my own personal life. Here we go. The third ending of this game is the imperfect ending, where you still get somewhat of a happy ending, but you don't get to see everything. Well, you tried your best, but hey, you know, you could have done better. You could have gotten all the choices right. That's how it works. That's how visual novels are. In this ending, Fang decides to develop a productive life for herself, and in the process of doing that, she has to abandon everything in her past because she cannot mentally handle what has happened in her past. And she openly admits this. She has completely abandoned her past, even the good parts of it, like Stella and Rosa, to keep herself sane in her adult life. Her job, or her family, and Anon are, well, pretty much the only things that she has left to keep herself happy. The story itself also points out the fact that, hey, you could still have a future outside of that. You can make new friends and time just keeps going. But it's supposed to be bittersweet in that sense. Again, I really don't want to bring this up because I don't want to totally bring my personal life on YouTube, but I am very much the same. Boys, you know that one really annoying, cringy furry from high school that everybody made fun of? Yeah, well, surprise, surprise, that was me in my past. And furthermore, I wasn't in a very good school. It was a very low-income school full of ghetto kids, horrible women, and etc. And, well, while I have obviously and easily grown out of that nonsense phase, my life was still miserable at home. I had an extremely abusive mother who would attack me and beat me and verbally abuse me on a weekly basis. And me and my two brothers had to deal with it as well. Their lives are pretty much miserable, and mine was no different. I left that abusive household and ended up in New York City. From Georgia to New York City is how that worked. My brothers and the rest of my family were still in close contact with said criminal abuser, and I was not comfortable with that fact. The fact that my family were still socializing with an actual monster that had never received any punishment for her crimes. I could not stand that. I could not at all. So I cut myself off from them, as in I completely cut myself off, like scorched earth. Completely disconnected all in any form of contact with those people because I just could not fucking stand that. I could not and I cannot to this very solitary day. Even the 2 or 3 friends that I still had back in high school, I don't talk to them anymore because I just didn't want any part of it. And while I wish I could say that things got better since I performed this scorched earth act, well, it really didn't. It did not at all. In fact, I have many, many regrets in my young adult life as a result of it. You see, I spent about 10 years of my life thinking the world owes me things and picking my own emotional scabs, essentially doing nothing with my life due to my own mental issues as a result of my childhood abuse. I have missed out on a lot of things in my life as a result. A lot of things that normal people get to have. And what's sad is that I didn't realize how good I had it until it was gone. I had talent as a radio voice actor. I had opportunities to make friends in the jobs and workplaces that I was getting hired at in my early 20s. And I lived in goddamn New York City, which is literally the land of opportunity, man. And no, I'm not talking about the place where it's really crowded and all the big buildings, can of sardines, all that bullshit. No, not every corner of New York City is a mass metropolis that's really crowded. I lived in Queens. Queens is one of the best places to be in New York City. The place where it's really crowded and everyone's an asshole, that's Manhattan. That is where all the tourists go. They go to the touristy places, they see how shitty it is there, and then they think literally every corner of New York City is like that. It is not. Queens is a great place. I had all these opportunities to grant myself a better life in NYC. I had countless opportunities. But by the time I realized that I had the potential to become a successful YouTuber or a successful voice actor or any of these other things that I can name off the back of my hand, it was all too late because I was too busy, more focused on the fact that I'm just entitled to other shit and just going crazy and acting like a goddamn nut job in order to actually, become a better person. I was almost going to become a radio voice actor in Manhattan for a radio station, but then coronavirus happened, so I was forced to move into the deep south. Yeah, this place is a fucking shithole. So after being forced into isolation and having all these opportunities taken away from me, I lived in squalor for about another 3 or so years, up until I managed to develop a YouTube success. High Guardian Spice, the review series, you know the drill if you're an OG fan, and here we are. Just like in how the third ending of this game, Fang has abandoned her past completely and cannot mentally handle said past without losing her sanity, I am basically the exact same. I have my YouTube channel, I have my fucking friends, I have going to the gym daily, I have my artwork that I like to work on, and that's it. That's all I have. There are solutions to this issue. I'm not going to pretend that there are not. I just have to get a life. But I live in the dumpy ass South. It's hard to get a life when you live in a place that's barely hospitable. If I was still up north, I'd be totally straight, but you know how it is. My story isn't a totally hopeless one. I'm eventually going to be moving back up north to Pittsburgh or Buffalo by the end of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, happy ending is pending for me. Back to the game. I think that's the reason why Snoot Game is such a touching story by default. It resembles a stupid, humorous fantasy on its surface, but what the characters go through is real shit that tackles the dilemmas of troubled teen life as well as realistically handle the aftermaths of teen lifestyles. I think that Snoot Game is a legit masterwork of storytelling, and despite covering very touchy subjects, it manages to put an unbiased lens on teenage life and tunnel vision desires that come alongside it. So yeah, Snoot Game is good. That's pretty much the end of this video. I suppose I just wanted to explain what this game suddenly meant to me after realizing what it's all really about. So, yeah. Now that I've managed to tell my own life story, I guess it's only fair that we all do some show and tell, yeah? To all the others who's played the game, does anybody else have any relatable moments that they'd like to say? Sorry, I'm trying to transition into something that's not depressing. But yeah, feel free to tell me in the comment section if you have any. This is Blacklight Jack signing out. Thanks for watching, boys. We'll see you next time.